Project Overlord was released on June 15th, 2010 as DLC for Mass Effect 2. It is, in my opinion, a fantastic piece of DLC that showcases BioWare's storytelling class with a succinct and contained story that is memorable for many reasons. It comes bundled in the recent Legendary edition of the Mass Effect trilogy, and I highly suggest playing it if you're after a story that explores darker themes and sci-fi horror. This video will have spoilers in, so please go play it before watching. This is not a review, simply me waxing lyrical about a great piece of content. Shepard is sent to 80, I hope I'm saying that right, to look into a Cerberus research station, and on arrival it is found to be overrun by Geth. We speak to a scientist named Archer who explains that a rogue VI has taken over the facility and is causing Geth to attack anyone in their sight. Our first task is to destroy the communication dish at the facility as the VI is trying to send a signal off planet. On completing this, Archer explains that his brother gave himself up to the research that involves combining a human mind with a VI in an attempt to communicate with the Geth. In the wake of the first battle, while talking to Archer, you can see your squad members Garrus and Morden here helping the cleanup job. I like this touch as it helps flesh out these characters, and instead of simply idling about, they actually seem to be impacting the story, and they react to what is around them. Next up is a Hammerhead section, as we need to go to 2 facilities to help override the system. It operates much better than the vehicles in Mass Effect 1, and is overall a fun section which ends with destroying a Geth cannon by causing it to blow up its own shield generators. Inside these stations is a case of getting into the override button and killing Geth and mechs, standard Mass Effect stuff really, and once overriding the lockdown we can head to Atlas Station where the rogue VI is housed. This whole area is beautifully designed. You feel like you're constantly being watched, which you definitely are. The VI is herding you by opening and locking doors, and the whole vibe is just uneasy. From the data logs scattered around the facility, we begin to feel more uneasy as it comes to light that Archer's brother David is autistic and in tune with the Geth. This causes Archer to use David for his experiments, seemingly without his consent due to his capacity. Archer is well aware of the danger that the experiment could have on his own brother, but continues anyway. We enter a room and interface with a console. David then takes over Shepard through his Omni tool and shows us what has happened. How Archer manipulated David and used him. We can see David's vulnerability here. Fascinated by numbers, he simply does what his brother asks of him. We get to the VI housing. It feels like David wants us to find him, and it's now boss time. David is trying to send another signal out, which we counter by shooting the VI interference and then the shell around him. Once we have taken this shell down and we have beaten him, we are shown the true horror behind this DLC. David is hooked up to the system through tubes down his throat and his body. His eyes are forced open and he is clearly in distress. It is true sci-fi body horror and incredibly disturbing. It is a perfect crescendo to the uneasy feeling that has been ramping throughout the story. Archer arrives just afterwards and wants to let David stay with him, and a trust can be made here. Personally, I took him away from Archer. This causes Archer to attempt to shoot us and call his brother valuable, showing his true colours. Shepard gives a badass line and we take him to an academy to be looked after. This is an incredible piece of content in an already fantastic game. Completing this mission won't really give you anything in terms of followers, but it's a fantastically dark story that makes you feel uneasy throughout, and completing this mission will have lasting effects into Mass Effect 3 and is even mentioned in Andromeda. I was completely engrossed throughout this whole story. I felt connected to not only the characters in it, but also Shepard as he witnessed the horror unfold in front of him. It should be mentioned that this facility is Cerberus funded, the very organisation that Shepard is now working with, which only adds to the uneasy alliance here. On completion, the Elusive Man will send you a message depending on your choice. In my case, he saw the decision to send David somewhere safe a setback. in terms of our fight against the Geth. While Mass Effect 2 doesn't shy away from difficult decisions and themes, this feels especially dark and complements the rest of the Mass Effect story very well. I completed this in about an hour and a half and is the perfect little detour if you're looking for something different between recruiting squad members and saving the galaxy. Thank you for watching.